everyone, it's Corinne, and I want to welcome you to Corinne's Open Book Podcast. I'm very excited about today's episode because this is episode 1 of the podcast, and I want to start off with a get to know me section and telling you what the podcast is going to be about. Normally the episodes will probably be like 15 minutes or longer. I generally like to make longer discussions because there's a lot to talk about in life in general, and especially in today's world. Like, there's so much to talk about on social media and in real life. And let's get started. So, to get to know me, my name is Corinne. I am 26 years old. I live in Maryland. I have my own apartment. Really excited. I have my own car, a good job, and I do content creation on the side as a hobby that one day I would like to turn into a full-time career. I am a dog mom, so shout out to all the dog moms out here. I don't have kids because I'm not married, so until I get married, and pushing out no babies till he bite his rock, as Nicki Minaj would say. I am the oldest of 3 kids on my mom's side and the middle child of my dad's kids. And I am a very multifaceted person, like we all are, but I think people don't expect me to have as many layers as I do because they don't know me. Most people do not know the real me. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because a lot of times I'm not able to be my true self because I don't trust people. But this podcast is my way of finally just opening up and say, this is me, and there's nobody here judging me. My dog is asleep, and she doesn't judge me for who I am because she's a dog and, my best friend. But other people in the world do judge you for who you are. Some of my beliefs are very strong, very traditional. Then I have other beliefs that are quite new aged, quite modern. And I lean more on the side of traditional, but when it comes to mental health, I am a bit more modern. I do believe that we should get help, and I do believe that seeking help is more important than us just thinking that we're going to be okay. And what do I mean by that? I've spent 25 years of my life suffering with mental health issues because I was scared for my therapist to tell me something was wrong with me. Even though I knew deep down inside something was wrong with me, I didn't go to therapy because I didn't want them to tell me something was wrong with me. Same reason most people stray away from the doctor, because every time they go, the doctor tells them they're too fat, they're too this, they're too that. But if you never go to get that checkup, you won't know what is wrong with you because you're ignoring your body's symptoms. When another person tells you, it's like, oh, this is real. So I already went off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's a part of me. I jump from topic to topic, but when I tell you, you're probably going to learn or discuss or disagree or whatever. A lot of the things that I jump from topic to topic about, because I know a little bit about a lot of things. So I like to just dive into different things, and I believe that discussing things helps us to learn. There's not a person, place, or thing that I haven't gone that I haven't learned something new. I learned something new from every experience, even if I didn't think I was going to go into it learning something. Something to know about me for those people that care about birthdays and astrology. I was born May 5th, 1995, and I am a Taurus. Yes, so I'm stubborn, but I'm also very reliable and responsible. And yes, I have an angry side, but you have to push me to get the angry side. And I've actually been working on getting more peaceful, so it's a lot harder to get me angry these days. And I'm so happy for growth, so happy for therapy, so happy for spirituality, so happy for just maturity. Still have a long way to go, but that's life. So yeah, I'm a Taurus. So to all those people that like Taurus, yay! All those people that don't, okay, you have your reasons. Same way I have my reasons for why I don't like certain people either. I'm into astrology just a little bit, just because it's funny how signs do add up to how people are. But for those people that don't believe in it, I understand. Believe what you believe. Let me believe what I do. And please don't try to push your beliefs on me unless I ask for your opinion. And most times I won't, because I just don't care about your opinion. Ooh, that's something about me that you guys have to know. Like, I don't normally seek help. So if I do, just know that I actually trust your judgment on that situation, because I don't ask for help. I don't ask for help when buying clothes. I don't ask help when doing pretty much anything. And if I do ask for help, just know that I trust you to help me. Because outside of that, I will do everything on my own if I can, just because I trust myself to do it the way that I want it done. And that's something that I'm working on, and moving helped me realize that I have more help than I thought, but it is something that I'm working on. When I said the thing about opinions, I really don't usually care about others' opinions unless we're in a discussion. But like unwarranted opinions, like if I'm talking about on this podcast oranges and you start bringing up apples, I'm probably going to ignore your opinion because you're off the topic. Now, if we're jumping from topic to topic, that's completely different. But if I'm talking about oranges, please stay on oranges. Don't bring up apples, because that opinion of apples does not matter to the conversation of oranges. I hope that makes sense. I'm a little bit all over the place for the first episode, but I just want to kind of just get you guys into the groove of who I am, and so you can understand when the next podcasts come out, they're going to be different. In the sense of you're going to get to know me on each and every episode, and you might learn things about me that make you learn things about yourself. What else should you guys know about me? I'm plus size, fat, whatever you want to say, on a weight loss journey, but not one that is so strict, but just making more healthy decisions. Like right now, I'm drinking a smoothie and I have water, just trying to make better decisions, trying to do workout videos, taking the steps instead of the elevator, little decisions to make bigger impact. So I am on a weight loss journey. It's going to take me a few years to get the weight off, and I'm okay with that. Like, I've decided that I'm going to do it the slow and steady way so that it becomes a life habit and not a crash diet just so that I can fit into societal norms. Now, with that being said, I would like everybody to take their health seriously. Please drink half your body weight in ounces. Please know what your weight is. You don't have to weigh yourself every day, but at least once a month weigh yourself so that you are understanding what you weigh, because what you weigh does matter. Not saying that the scale should be your judge. I'm just saying that you should know what your weight is so you know how much water you need to take in, so that you know how many calories you should be eating. And this is not me saying you should be a strict calorie counter. I'm just saying it does help to know, well, if I eat this amount of food, I'm going to gain weight. If I eat this amount of food, I'm going to maintain weight. If I eat this amount of food, I'm going to lose weight. So that does matter to me, that people aren't overeating, because I have suffered with binge eating since I was a little kid. I do want to put that disclaimer out there that I do believe that even if you're a bigger person, that you should take care of yourself. Drink water before you drink anything else. When you wake up in the morning, drink water. Just little things, because, I still struggle with the food stuff, so I get it. But please, 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 my bigger people, just make small decisions. When you make the small steps, they become bigger steps. Like how I don't take the elevator anymore unless I have groceries, and I'm taking my whole big heavy wagon with all my groceries in it. Outside of that, I take the steps every time, and I walk my dog 3 times a day, if not more. And that helps with your heart, with your breathing. I'm asthmatic, had asthma since I was a little girl. All of it helps. I didn't even think this episode was going to go like this, but I guess once I started recording, I just felt free. I am an ambivert, meaning I can seem extroverted when in a social space, but I'm actually quite introverted. I prefer to spend most of my time alone. I have to recharge a lot because my actual career is a first responder, and I work the overnight shift, which anybody that works the overnight shift knows that it is so hard on your body. But these are the things that I'm doing while I'm single and childless. So once I have a child, I'll have set myself up in a way with my different endeavors personally, as far as content creation, so that I won't ever have to work a 9-to-5 job again unless I have to. But I'm praying and asking the universe to allow this dream to come true, and I believe that it will. I believe that I have a voice for a reason, and it is not a voice that should be unheard. And this message is for whomever it is for. Like, my podcast is not for everybody. I've never been cool. I've always been like the smart girl that was goofy and laughed a lot, but also because of my introvertedness, sometimes I came off standoffish or nonchalant. My podcast isn't gonna probably be for everybody, so I don't expect to be popular. I just want those that are meant to hear this to hear it. I'm also a college dropout, but I never wanted to go to college. I was gonna be a manager at my local food place that I was working, but my mom, because I was her first child to graduate, she wanted me to go to college. Never wanted to go, ended up dropping out due to depression. And my life actually went downhill for a couple of years. And the last, I'd say, 4 years, my life has gotten so much better, and it's ever since I got my job as a first responder. My life just started to go up, and during that time period of my life going up, I lost every last one of my friends, and I was in a toxic relationship for almost 3 years. But that relationship, out of all my relationships, taught me so much about myself that I felt like I was nothing, and it wasn't that person's fault that I felt like I was nothing. That was how I felt about myself. So I overcompensated, and I was always been a people pleaser. I've never had good self-esteem. I grew up in a single parent home. My parents were married till I was like in high school. My parents were married. They got married, I believe, like a year after they had me. And their relationship was rocky. There was domestic violence, both physical and emotional, in their relationship on both people's parts, mainly on my father's, but also on my mother's side as well. And though we lived in a nice house, had nice cars, went on vacations, the stuff that went on behind closed doors affected me a lot. So when they took my dad away and he went to jail for almost 2 decades, I was around 8 years old, I believe. And it was hard. I can't sit here and say like that was easy for me, but my life fell apart pretty fast, and my mom became a single mother almost overnight, and life was rough. I'll go into my childhood one day, but I just wanted to give a brief get to know me story. So I mainly grew up in the suburbs, but I've lived in hoods, I've lived on couches, house hopped, I've gotten kicked out of my mom's house a few times, and can I tell you guys, I wasn't a bad kid. So we'll go into depth in that in the future. I wasn't a bad kid. When I finally sat back and started to look over my life, I was just like, I had a lot of issues that stemmed from not going to therapy and not getting healed earlier, not getting nurtured, not being raised by feminine women, being raised by women and they're masculine because their men left or were taken away, or their men were just not good men. So outside of that, once my life started to get better when I got this job, that's when I started to see that like I actually have worth in this world. That's sad to say that I went 20 something years of my life seeing myself as worthless, but I did. And I realized that you are a good person. You're amazing. Like, you're great. You're beautiful. You're wise. This job allowed me to move out of my mom's house, to get a truck that I never thought I would be able to have. You know, I never even thought I was going to be able to drive, because when you're working different fast food jobs or dead-end jobs, you barely have enough just to pay bills and keep decent clothes on your body. So I just never thought that I'd be able to afford a car, if I'm honest with you. And now I'm driving something that I never thought I could afford. Living in an apartment I never thought I'd be in. Like, sometimes I just wonder why. I just thank God and the universe and prayers that others have had and the help that I've had from my family, my mother, my father, my aunt, the help that I get from my brother. It's wow. So I guess that's enough about getting to know me. I went into a rant. So I'm probably going to have to cut out a lot of this. What is this podcast going to be about? Well, Corinne's Open Book Podcast, meaning I'm opening up the story of my life and the life of others and the things that I've seen firsthand, things that I see secondhand, things that I've went through, things that others have went through. Open book, meaning there's nothing that's off limits. And I think by the time this podcast series is over and I probably venture on to different things, I'll be healed. Because in therapy, I feel like each and every time I talk to my therapist, I find healing. But I think that, you know, I have deeper healing to do, healing that can heal my sisters and brothers through my story, the stories of others, through the knowledge that I have, through the things that I want to learn through you all, because I'm a forever student of life. You know, as I even talk and help others, I'm getting help from them. So I'm forever learning. I remember I took a philosophy class, and he was like, essentially, he's going to forever be dumb, because no matter how much he knows, he's never going to know everything that there is to know. And I thought that that was so brilliant. I'm not quoting him verbatim because this was years ago, but I thought that that was beautiful. It was very brilliant, because that is so true. No matter how much we know, we're never going to know everything. So just stay humble and continue to try to learn when you can and from who you can. You can learn from everyone and everything. I learned from the plants. I learned from my dog. I learned from my little sister. I learned from my elderly family members and elderly people in general. I learned from the earth. I learned from God. I learned from bugs. I learned from everything, because everything has a function. And when you realize that like, how beautiful that is, how beautiful Mother Nature is, how beautiful God created this earth to be, how beautiful our Creator is, that He created us with a fully functioning, self-healing body, so long as we take care of it. Like, that's crazy. This podcast is going to be about everything. When I tell you there's probably going to be nothing that I know about that will go untouched, and whomever guests that I may bring on in the future know about, this podcast is going to have just about everything that I know on here and things that I'm learning on here, because I know that someone else can utilize this information that I just have stored in my brain. Plus, I don't have many friends, and it's a personal choice. People's energy throws me off because I am an empath. My therapist told me this. I did not know I was an empath, but my entire life I've felt emotions and energy so deeply. But as an empath, I can't surround myself with just everybody, because I can absorb people's energy, and that's not me. Which is why I like living alone right now, because I know my energy, and my energy is good energy, and it flows through the house in peace and serenity. And I know when there is another person in here, because the energy doesn't feel the same. And it's not saying that person's energy is bad, but when I mesh with other people's energy, I feel it. I don't feel comfortable, because people hold their own things that they have going on, and whether people understand it or not, you can feel it. I can feel it. And it hurts sometimes when you're feeling somebody that's hurting, but you can't say anything because people don't like to feel judged. So on this podcast, I'm going to be speaking about my life, and I know if anybody that knows me is listening to this, some of the stuff that I say may come off like I'm attacking or talking bad. When I'm telling you this is not the case, I'm just telling you how I feel, what I know, and what my energy that I'm feeling from you is. And I'm never going to really name any names. I don't want that drama, because this is therapeutic for me. This open book podcast is to help others, but it's also to heal me. I don't want anybody to ruin this for me. So I probably won't even say who it is. I'll just talk about the situations so that I can bring this type of stuff to other people. One of the reasons I created this podcast is because I grew up in a home where it was like, don't tell anybody anything. That has hurt me very deeply, not having anyone to talk to. And that was one of the reasons why I was suicidal from the age of 12 to like 20, 21, with thoughts, planned attempts, all types of stuff, because I could never feel comfortable with telling people things, because I was beat for telling people things. I was yelled at for telling people things. I was punished for telling people things. So now I don't want to hold things in unless they're super sacred to me. But my past, I have to let it go, and I'm going to talk about it. So I'm sorry in advance to whomever this may hurt or trigger, but I have to do this for me. So I just want to thank you so much for listening. I know this podcast was all over the place because, like I said, I'm going to jump from topic to topic. If I didn't already say that, I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to jump from topic to topic. I want to thank you all so much for listening to episode 1. This was a great podcast, I feel, because it's a great introduction to who I am. These podcasts are going to be pretty long, so this is for people that really just want to listen, discuss, maybe rebuttal back to me, even though I can't hear you. And I love podcasts, so I know that those people that are podcast people will enjoy the longer episodes, because it's very soothing. Sometimes we feel alone, and these podcasts make me feel like, wow, there's somebody else that thinks like how I think, or wow, there's somebody else in the world that's talking about stuff that I wanted to learn about, or wow, there's somebody out there that's talking about some wild stuff, and I would love to rebuttal to them right now, so I'm gonna talk to them like they can hear me. So I know if that's how I am, hopefully somebody in the world is a part of my tribe as well and wants to hear me talk about different things. But if not, if this wasn't for you, thank you anyway for sticking through. I hope you have an amazing day or night, or whatever time of the day it is for you. Can I leave you with a little nugget of advice? Don't do anything that is going to take you from this earth prematurely. Don't eat too much, don't drink too much. Don't talk negatively to yourself or other people too much. Don't commit that crime. Don't harm kids, don't harm other people. Like, don't do anything that is going to take you from this earth prematurely. And I mean like purposeful things that are harmful. Like, if you know that diabetes runs in your family, try to eat better. If you know that you have anger issues, try not to hang around people or do things that are going to cause you to build up anger, and maybe do something that will make your life end prematurely. If you're suicidal, please get the help that you need, because I don't want you to leave this earth prematurely. Like, I love you so much. You don't know me. Whomever is listening to this, you found this for a reason, and I want to tell you that I love you. If nobody else has ever told you today that they loved you, I love you. And I mean that with all my heart. And I wish that somebody would have told me that they loved me more. Oh my gosh, I'm crying. Such a wuss. But I really do wish that people had told me that they loved me more, because I needed that as an emotional person, as a human being, as an empath. Like, just knowing that someone loved me would have helped. So I know that if you're listening to this, for some reason you found this, I love you. I'm overwhelmed with emotions, because I never thought that I'd even be sitting here able to make a podcast. Like, because I didn't think I'd still be here. I hated my life and nobody knew. So yeah, if you're listening to this, like, I'm telling you, I've been where you were, or I can empathize with you. So I love you. Please don't do anything to take your life prematurely. Like, your life matters and you have a purpose, and you just have to tap into yourself to find your purpose. Because I'm telling you, before I tapped into me, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, I didn't think that I would have any of this stuff. And it's not saying that stuff makes you want to live. I'm just saying, I never thought that my life was going to amount to anything. And to other people, that might sound crazy, because if you knew me, you think like I just didn't seem like the type of person that was like this. But I didn't think my life meant anything. And now, like, I have so many reasons to live. So I love you. Please take care of yourself. Don't forget to drink your water. Water is important. Water is important. Try to move your body at least, I'd say, even if you don't have 30 minutes allegedly, because we all have 30 minutes. But if you don't, just move your body for 5 minutes. Get up, walk, dance. Move your body. Turn on that favorite song that you haven't, play it twice, and just dance. Get a little sweaty. Go take your shower. Let those endorphins run through your body. Let those toxins come out, because you will be surprised how drinking your water, just moving your body, can make you so much happier. We have to find reasons to live. We have to find reasons to take care of ourselves. We have to find reasons to just exist, because sometimes the mental warfare and the circumstances that we are in are rough. Even if it seems like we live in the suburbs, or even if we live in the heart of poverty, our circumstances seem like they're never ending. But you have to create that place in your mind to know that I'm gonna make it. I have a reason to live. I'm gonna make it out of here. I made it out. And when I say made it out, I just mean I made it out of depression. I made it out of suicidal thoughts. I made it out of childhood trauma. You know, I'm still healing, but I made it out of panic attacks every single day when I'm driving to work, having breakdowns in the shower about childhood stuff that I saw and experienced. Like, I made it through that. People wouldn't have known I was having panic attacks coming into work. Literally hyperventilating while I'm driving. I could have caused a car accident. People wouldn't know that. There were times where I cried from the time I left my house, because I was praying. I was trying to just get whatever this was out of me, and I made it through that. You guys got to see the wussy side of me, which is a beautiful side. I love this side of me, because this is the true me. She's so emotional, she's loving, she wants to hug and stuff like that. And the side that most people see, I have to be tough, because the world has never allowed me to be soft, and I'm growing back into being soft again. But when you're raised by a single mom, you have to be tough, because the weight is already on her shoulders. You can't put weight on her shoulders even more, because number one, you're the oldest. How dare you not understand what your parent is going through because you saw it? Shout out to the single mothers, not meaning I want you guys to be single mothers, but shout out to y'all, because it is rough. Like, I saw my mother struggle, and I give my love to that woman, you know. And I have a lot of hurt from my parents, but I always loved them. But I saw her struggle. I know what we came from. I know how we came from. Everything, we lost it all, and it's just blessings, like blessings on blessings. But Shout out to the single mothers and shout out to the oldest children. We be holding it down. Gosh, we're resilient people. Oldest children, most of us end up a little cuckoo in the head because it's a lot of stuff that we go through that we just have to just go through. And there's nobody to hold our hands, and there's nobody to tell us that they love us and they care about us and that they understand us. They got other stuff for themselves to worry about. We don't understand adulthood until we get there, and then we're like, dang, how did our parents go through this? And they did it alone. Like, most of us in the Black community, like, our mothers did that stuff alone. Our fathers did that alone. Like, shout out to the single fathers too, because especially the ones that are there, because there's so many dads that aren't there. That hurts. Shout out to all of us. Shout out to us people that felt like we was damaged goods, but we triumphed out of that, and now we realize that we're much better than that. We were never damaged goods. Just because you didn't come from perfect circumstances doesn't mean that you're damaged. Like, you can be hurting, you can have little scratches on you, but nothing is unhealable. Shout out to y'all that are still listening to this, because I tried to close this a couple times. Thank you for listening to my first episode. It's all over the place. And y'all, please, I'm going to probably be crying in a lot of my episodes. I'm very emotional and passionate, so please get used to this. I'm so sorry in advance for those people that are like, ew, emotions. Like, nah, I have to feel these emotions because I might go crazy if I don't. Like, I used to go crazy just trying to hold in everything, and I can't do that no more. Plus, this is Corinne's open book, which means what? I'm an open book. Until this book is closed, it's open. So thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I hope you come back for my podcast. I think I'm going to drop this podcast once a week. I will update you if I don't drop the podcast once a week. But for now, I think once a week will be good. It'll be like a chat session. Like, I'm tuning in with my friends to catch up on a week's worth of events or things that I've been thinking about or wanted to talk about. So please, please, please like, share, subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment or review, leave me what you would like for me to discuss, and please, again, take care of yourself. Don't do anything that's going to take you out prematurely, and I love you so much. Bye, everyone.